All right. Awesome, guys. Well, welcome to this presentation. I've been doing these presentations the last couple weeks and really been enjoying creating them, really been enjoying the feedback you guys have been providing me. And I'm really excited to share this opportunity with you. And I'm going to share some education, right? We're going to start off the presentation with some education, some solar education that you may or may not be aware of. And then we're going to move on to the partnership opportunity where you can refer your homeowners over to us and on average earn $1,500 in commissions, right? So this presentation, once again, going to be some education. I'm going to share with you the difference between old solar and new solar. And we're going to show you how to ride the new solar wave to serve your network, help them save anywhere between $1,000 to $3,000 per year by switching to solar. And you're going to earn a $1,500 on average commission for each individual that we help go solar. So pretty exciting stuff. I am excited to get this presentation started. So before I share some solar education with you, I wanted to introduce myself because some of you guys might not even know me. Maybe we've connected through LinkedIn or some other social media site. I just wanted to let you know that I am super passionate about solar, right? My name is Jordan Malotsky, aka Jomo. I'm an entrepreneur originally from Philadelphia. I actually lived in Philadelphia most of my life. Moved out to Phoenix in, I think it was 2015, if my memory serves me well. And so I've been here for a little over 2 years now, living out in Phoenix, Arizona. And I like the environment out here. It's a lot more spacious compared to Philly as far as, living in a metropolitan city. A lot of times it can get pretty claustrophobic and, kind of hard to get around or really bad traffic. Luckily, Phoenix has allowed me the freedom to really not have that sort of issue. I'm literally able to just drive around and enjoy the spaciousness and freedom that the city provides. I really love hiking. I really love going to mountains. There's lots of options to choose from out in Phoenix. The one downfall of Phoenix that's happening right now, because we're in the dead of summer, is that it does get pretty hot. I mean, compared to Philadelphia, it gets very humid in the summer. In Phoenix, it's been getting anywhere between 110 and 120 on a daily basis for the last few weeks. So it's been pretty tough. But compared to the humidity in Philadelphia, I'd say it's just about the same, with like a 90 or 100 degree Philadelphia with humidity. It's pretty much the same as far as like the heat and the physical toll it takes on your body. But yeah, otherwise, I really enjoy living out in Phoenix. And I think it's an amazing environment because of the fact that the sun shines all the time. And actually, solar is very popular on a lot of homes. But unfortunately, there's been some regulations that have been passed recently that are local to Arizona, that make Phoenix actually a pretty tough market for solar. So unfortunately, I'm not able to serve as many homeowners as I'd like to in the Phoenix area, which is why I'm reaching out to you and reaching out to others that live and have networks that live in really good solar states. Because I realized that my strategy was a little flawed in that I was only reaching out to locals when I wasn't really able to offer them an amazing value, the amazing value that solar really can provide in the really good solar markets. So in order to achieve my mission of helping 1 million homeowners go solar by 2025, I really need your help. I'm really asking for your help. I really want to help spread this message. I want to help put solar into the hands of as many people as possible. And I want to contribute to creating that 1 million US homeowners going solar by 2025. And I really think that with the offering that I'm about to share with you near the end of this webinar, I think you're really going to see the benefit both for the homeowner as well as for yourself. It's a really amazing win-win partnership. Win-win-win partnership. I benefit, you benefit, the homeowner benefits, and there's a lot of other parties that benefit. The solar company benefits, the environment benefits. I mean, there's really a lot of benefits for helping people switch over to solar that I think you're going to start to understand as this presentation goes on. So just to share a few values I really hold close to my heart. I kind of shared this with my story about how I like driving around in Phoenix, and it gives me the freedom that I really enjoy. Freedom, self-sufficiency, and innovation have been constant themes in my life. I'm always on the cutting edge of innovation as a millennial. I always love seeing the new trends, seeing the new technologies. And also, as an entrepreneur, I really value freedom and self-sufficiency and independence and all these really good things that I really believe solar integrates all of these values into one. And so I'm going to show you in the next slide exactly how I believe that is the case. So for freedom, solar energy, it expands the sandbox we now play in, right? So for me, freedom is like personal freedom. Obviously, living in the United States, we do have a sense of freedom. We have a sense of independence, although there are a lot of rules, regulations, laws that we do have to abide by. And so what I believe solar energy does is it gives us a little bit more freedom beyond what we currently have, and it creates freedom from the grid, right? Granted, the solar systems that I do promote are going to be tied to the grid for the most part. But what I mean by creating freedom from the grid is you're not relying on the grid for your power, right? You can actually sell your excess solar power that you create back to the grid. And then also, if the solar system doesn't produce 100% of your electricity, you'll also be drawing from the grid. But what you're going to be doing is you're going to be reducing your dependence on the grid. This is for anyone who's interested in going solar, right? You reduce your dependence on the fossil fuels from the grid, and you're becoming more self-reliant. You're becoming more self-sufficient because you're able to generate your own power rather than relying on that outside source. And then finally, innovation, it really ties into, obviously solar is a huge innovation in and of itself. But to be totally honest, within the solar industry, there's more and more innovations happening every day. And so I think that's actually what's so exciting for me, is to be on the pulse of that, to be on the pulse of all the innovations that are happening within the solar industry. And in the next few slides, I'm going to share with you exactly what those transitions and those innovations really are. So if you really want to keep it very simple, right? There's an old way of doing solar, there's an old model of solar, and there's a new model of solar. And over the next couple of slides, I'm going to show you the difference between the two. So one way to compare old solar versus new solar is the solar leasing model versus the solar ownership model. Now, the solar leasing model, it saves you a few bucks every month. The solar company owns the panels, and you're simply renting their roof space out to them, right? What ends up happening is they're actually the ones receiving the tax credits and rebates. So I'm going to pull out my handy dandy pen here so you can follow along with me. So they receive, let me switch over to red. Okay, it looks like I got some kind of, oh, I see what I got. I was doing the highlighter. Okay, so with the solar lease model, it ends up saving you usually anywhere between $20 to $100 a month, which isn't that bad, but the tax credits and rebates, they go directly to the solar company that's providing the solar lease. And not to mention, at the end of the lease, it's very much so like you're leasing a car. You have to turn in your panels, right? So they stop being useful for you because you no longer have them. And then also, one other thing I wanted to mention is making the lease payments ends up becoming a liability if you were to sell your home. So let's say you had like a 30-year contract and like 5 years into it, you wanted to sell your home. you would literally be responsible for the next 25 years of payments. Literally, it's the same thing as if you tried to turn your car in early, right? You're responsible for those 25 years of payments, or you have to transfer it over to the person who's buying your home, and therefore it's actually going to decrease the value of your home, because now you are the only way someone would want to purchase that home is if they knew going into it that they were going to be responsible for those lease payments, and that really dampens their desire to purchase that home, right? So it decreases the value of your home. Whereas with solar ownership, it actually increases the value of your home. And a study that was recently done called the Berkeley study, which showed that for every every watt of solar that gets installed on your roof, it increases the value of your home by $4. So we're just going to use an example. Let's say you have a solar system that's 5,000 watts, and you multiply it by that $4, you end up with $20,000 in increased value for your home, right? So if you were to go to sell your home with that 5,000 watt fully paid for solar system, it would increase the value of your home by this $20,000, right? Whereas if you did the leasing model, it would decrease the value of your home, right? So that's another reason why the solar ownership model, it just makes a lot more sense. And in most cases, it ends up saving the customer way more, right? And on average, you can expect to save anywhere between $1,000 and $3,000 per year, right? So instead of that $200 to $100 or $20 to $100 a year, it ends up saving you, I believe if I do the math correctly, it's about $80 to $250 a year. That just give or take a few dollars, right? So it's going to end up saving you a lot more. And not to mention, you own the tax credits and the rebates. And when you first purchase a solar system, there is an initial, it's called the 30% ITC, which is the initial tax credit. So literally, if your solar system is $10,000, you get an initial $3,000 tax credit that you can use to, decrease your tax burden that year. You can even spread it out over the course of 5 years if you like. But literally, then your solar system is really only costing you $7,000, right? And if you went the solar leasing route, then the solar company would actually take this $3,000 tax credit as well. So that's what I was talking about with this tax credit right up here. So as you can see, there's a lot of incentives that are in place for those who choose to purchase solar. And by the way, you don't have to purchase it in cash. You can also finance it. And most of the financing options that my solar company provides ends up costing the customer less than if they were to lease the panels, right? So with the lease, obviously, you're paying essentially the solar company every month a certain fee in order to lease those panels, right? And then as a result, it's going to reduce your energy bill. But at the end of the day, really, it's $20 to $100 is what you end up saving. And then once again, compared to this $80 to $250 is what you'd save when you account for those the additional savings that the solar system generates. So my question is, if you were considering going solar, which option would you prefer? Would you prefer solar ownership, right, which ends up saving you a lot more and increases the value of your home, or would you choose the solar leasing method, right? So hopefully, I've sold you on the reasons why solar ownership is the way to go compared to the solar leasing model. It's going to save you as the homeowner so much more. It's also going to give you additional incentives and really just benefit you in a lot more ways than one. So I'm going to assume that if you're watching this right now, that you would choose the solar ownership model. So we're going to move on to the next slide. And the next way that the solar company that I'm partnered with and that you can partner with at the end of this presentation differentiates itself from the market. Sorry, let me just grab some water. My throat is starting to. All right, sorry about that, guys. So the way that the old solar model differentiates itself from the new solar model is, or at least, I'm sorry, the solar company that I'm partnered with differentiates itself from the old way of doing things is we are a solar broker, right? So very similar to an insurance agent versus an insurance broker. The solar broker literally has the option to shop around and look at the entire solar marketplace of reputable, high quality manufacturers and installers. They can really find the best value for the customer, right? Simply the customer lets them know what they're interested in, and then they literally go on like a search and destroy mission to find out what it is that that customer, to find the best value for that particular customer based on their needs. And so they literally help the customer get the best deal for those particular needs. And once again, shopping is done for you by well-connected solar experts. Whereas if you compare it to the old model, which is like an insurance agent versus an insurance broker, an insurance broker, it is essentially like this, whereas an insurance agent is more like this, which is working just with one solar company. And they only have one pricing model. They only offer a specific type of product. And what ends up happening is the homeowner, they have to basically, just rely on that solar company. And, they have to, they have to, they have to make sure that the solar company is really just offering them the best value possible. Whereas, with this model, with the broker model, they literally have, all the right things in place already, right? So sorry, sorry guys, just got distracted a little bit. Sometimes I have some ADD when I'm doing presentations, but I just like to draw and color. So sorry about that. Anyway, the insurance agent, they only can offer the customer so much. There's a lot of other offerings on the market that they're unable to offer that customer, and so it really puts the customer in a bind, and they have to go do the shopping themselves, right? So the customer has to do all the shopping, and they have to like literally shop from solar company to solar company to find the best deal if that's what they're looking for. And so it's very restrictive. Bottom line is there's no flexibility, and what ends up happening is most of the time the customer doesn't know any better, and they just choose a solar option from the company they went to, right? Or there ends up being some sort of hard sell, and high pressure sales ends up happening in this situation. And a lot of times it leads to buyer's remorse, right? Because the customer didn't really get the best value, didn't get the best bang for their buck, right? And another thing is that they might not have guarantees and warranties that other solar providers can offer. And so they're really in a state of confusion, right? Maybe that's why I was so confused for a second, because I was feeling like, if I was going to one solar company, I'd be very confused. But like literally a solar company, one solar company versus an entire marketplace of solar companies, which would you choose, right? Which one would you choose if you were thinking of going solar? Once again, I'm going to assume that the new model of solar, the solar broker model, solar marketplace model, is what you'd choose. So with that being said, we're going to move on to the next slide. Here we go. So the new Solar Eagle has landed, apparently. So the network that we are partnered with, or that you now have the opportunity to partner with, is a network of solar experts and brokers. And you can literally refer your network of homeowners over to us. And once again, as I've mentioned many times before, you can earn an average of $1,500 per homeowner that we help go solar, and save $1,000 to $3,000 per year for the next 30 years. And the company that I am partnered with, that you now have the opportunity to partner with, is Crew. And Crew stands for Clean Renewable Energy. Sorry, I made a mess. Clean Renewable Energy Worldwide. And they're exclusive. What they are is literally a renewable energy marketplace, so to speak. Like they provide lots of different options, lots of different renewable energy options. And I won't get into the other options that they provide, but basically their exclusive residential energy, solar energy provider is GeoStellar. So I'm about to tell you a little bit more about what GeoStellar offers, because that's going to be the primary focus, is residential solar. So here we go. So once again, GeoStellar is the exclusive solar partner of Crew, and they've actually been in business for 7 years. They are partnered with these companies that you see on the screen right here: National Geographic, Intuit, Cisco, Johnson & Johnson, Etsy, World Wildlife Foundation, AAA, 3M, and Bosch. And that's just a few of their very credible, reputable partners that have chosen their model, have chosen their method when it comes to adding solar to their buildings and their corporations in general. So the cool thing about GeoStellar is that they have the largest installation footprint in the entire United States in the solar market. They offer solar to 48 states. The only ones that they don't at the time of this video is Alaska and Hawaii. And they also offer a $1 million guarantee. And this actually ties into the fact that they are partnered with local installers. So in each of these 48 states, they have found the very best solar installers, and that's who they're partnered with. And these solar installers have done at least 1,000 installs, and they're what's called NABCEP certified, which is a certification that any reputable solar provider, installer has to go through. So they're very reputable companies, but just in case anything were to happen, your homeowner, or you as the homeowner, are protected with this $1 million guarantee, right? So for you basically up to $1 million, it's for equipment, it's for warranties, and for parts and labor, right? So literally $1 million guarantee for those particular for the particular product that they purchased. Additionally, GeoStellar offers the longest performance guarantee at 20 years. And most solar companies, whether you realize this or not, I don't know if you've checked out the solar industry before, most solar companies only have a 5-year at most, right? Performance guarantee, which means, let's just say that the customer gets quoted for $100,000. That the solar system is going to save them $100,000 over the next 30 years. Well, guess what happens after the first 5 years if the solar system only starts producing, let's say, $10,000, right? So it only saves them $10,000, but they were quoted $100,000. They're screwed, right? They have no option, right? They're not covered, essentially, right? So it becomes a risky investment then. And most homeowners that are given this scenario, they don't realize it because they don't read the fine print, right? So what we're offering is a 20-year performance guarantee, and we guarantee that up to 80%. So what this means is it's essentially risk-free for, in this scenario, let's just use $80,000, right? Because that's 80%. So 80% of the quoted savings is what we'll guarantee. What ends up happening is at the end of every year, if they and let's just pretend this was 90,000 just so that we could like get a good number here. So let's just say it was 30 years at 90,000 savings. That would be $3,000 per year. So for the first 20 years, we would guarantee this number would be the savings at 80% of that, right? So whatever 80% of 3,000 is, I think it might be like 2,600. We're guaranteeing that they're going to receive those savings no matter what, right? So if their solar system doesn't produce those savings, we're going to reimburse them. And that's something that I guarantee if you look around the industry, you're not going to find. It's literally by 15 years, the highest performance guarantee in the industry. So you can definitely feel confident in providing a risk-free investment opportunity for your network of homeowners. Additionally, there is what's called the price match guarantee, which means if the homeowner has gone shopping for solar before, we will literally match that price. So let's say it was a $100,000 system, or I'm sorry, that's kind of excessive. Let's say it was a 5 kilowatt system and it was $15,000 for that 5 kilowatt system. We'll literally compare it apples to apples for what we have in our marketplace, and we'll be able to offer them that deal, if not better, right? So that's what that price match guarantee is. We'll give them at least $15,000, or we'll offer them at least $15,000 for that system. Most likely it's going to be lower, right? So like 13,000. Anyway, those are all of the reasons why Crew and GeoStellar combined are the best value in the solar industry, right? I'm not sure if you've looked around the solar industry, but based on all of those things that I just shared with you, we really do have the best value. So you can definitely feel confident in sharing this with your homeowners. So one other thing I wanted to go through real quick was some of the savings that you can expect to help your homeowners experience by going solar with us, right? So I'm going to share with you in the next couple slides a couple of examples in some of the really good solar states, right? So here's example number one. In Massachusetts, we created this estimate for a customer, and it will save them. This was actually created over the last year. So it's going to save them around $2,000. And it's going to cost them around $2,000. It's going to save them around $55,000 over the next 30 years, right? So you do the math on the ROI right here, right? The cost savings analysis, spending $2,000 to save/earn $55,000. I mean, it's a really good deal. That's why Massachusetts is a really good state. If you are in Massachusetts, definitely consider offering this to your homeowners because you're really going to help them save a lot. One other example, another really good solar state is New Jersey. And sorry about that. So it's going to cost this particular homeowner around $13,000, and it's going to save them around $87,000, right? And that's once again 30 years. So once again, the differential, $13,000 to make $87,000 by literally doing nothing other than putting a solar system on your roof. It's a pretty awesome deal, and it's a no-brainer offer that a lot of homeowners will say yes to if they're presented the correct information. And I did want to mention we have an entire dedicated sales team in place where literally all you'll need to do is refer your homeowners over to us, and we'll walk them through the entire consultative sales process. So you don't have to worry about presenting any of these estimates to them. We literally will do that for you. Simply need to make the referral, and we'll take care of the rest. So third example is Vermont, and this particular system is going to cost the homeowner $4,000, going to save them over 30 years, $51,000, right? So another really good ROI, cost savings analysis or cost savings ratio there. And I'll just move on to the next slide real quick because I think you guys are getting the picture. Okay, finally, California, and this was an awesome deal. The homeowner was able to save $160,000 over the next 30 years. That's literally, if you do the math, $5,000 per year in savings for an investment that, oh, by the way, after all the rebates and incentives were taken into account, it only cost them $10,000, right? So $10,000 to earn $160,000 by doing nothing other than putting a solar system up on your roof. That's a pretty awesome no-brainer investment right there. So we're going to move on to the next phase in this presentation. Going along with those estimates, I wanted to share with you a quick story. Something that happened to me recently is I reached out to my financial advisor and I literally asked him this question. I said, hey, what's the highest guaranteed return I can receive in the market with zero risk, right? And I really respect my financial advisor. I've done my shopping, I've looked around, and I found a really good one. And literally what he said was the best that he can offer me is 3 to 4% ROI compounded, right? And we'll get to why I put compounded there in just a minute. But literally when he said that, my jaw dropped because I was like, wait a minute, that's the best you can do with zero risk, 3 to 4% ROI. It seemed to me like I could have done better, right? And I guess that's probably because there's investments that you hear stories out there, like where people investing in let's say like Bitcoin, or they invest in large companies and they earn like 500, 1,000, 2,000% return. And the reason for that is, of course, because in those scenarios, there's a lot of risk, right? But I was looking specifically for zero risk, right? And I asked him that question for a specific reason because I knew the types of ROI that solar can generate, and I wanted to compare it to what he could offer. So I'm going to show you guys what the average is for the top 10 solar states. Okay. Literally 10 to 38% ROI. And this is non-compounded, right? So the difference here is obviously every year it gets added on to the previous balance. So this is a little bit different. You can't compare apples to apples because this is compounded, this is non-compounded. But still 10 to 38% non-compounded compared to 3 to 4% compounded. Which do you think performs better? Which do you think creates a larger return over the course of 30 years, which is how long the ROI is calculated for solar systems? Which do you think is better, right? I'm going to show you which one's better, and we're going to do a quick example, right? So this is actually an example that I'm doing in the state of New York, right? So if you are in New York, if you have homeowners in New York, this will definitely apply to you, right? So let's just say that we had $20,000 to invest at a market best, because he said 3 to 4%. So I'm just going to go with the high here and say of 4% compounded for 30 years. Ends up turning into almost $65,000 over 30 years, right? Now let's compare that to literally New York's ROI every single year for 30 years for a solar system is 25.1%, believe it or not. So what do you think it ends up creating, right? A $20,000 solar system with 22.5% non-compounded for 30 years. What do you think that ends up totaling? $170,600. Okay, so literally, if you had the option to invest in the highest no risk return in the market, the best you could do is $64,000 with a $20,000, $65,000 with a $20,000 investment. Whereas if you took that money and you invested it in a solar system, it would literally produce you on average, these are averages for the state, $170,000. So you would earn an additional over $105,000 by simply choosing to put your money into a solar investment, right? When I realized that, it just blew my mind, right? So I'm just going to give you a second to really chew on that, right? I'll leave this slide up just for a second, but just imagine that people just aren't aware that this is the case. And that's why I created this presentation. And that's why I'm so passionate about solar, is because I realize that most people just are unaware that solar can really produce this much. So how cool would it be to offer a no risk 10 to 38% ROI investment to your network, right? And that's where Crew and GeoStellar come into play again. By being on this webinar, you now have the opportunity to partner with Crew and GeoStellar, and you can offer very similar savings to what I just shared with you with your network of homeowners, right? Really cool, huh? So here's how to get started working with us, right? I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm just going to say, hey, if you're interested in offering this to your network of homeowners, all you got to do right now is go to this link, right? And it's jointhecrew.com/Jomo. And I'm actually going to minimize my screen right here and go there with you right now so I can walk you through the sign up process to become a free affiliate for us. So jointhecrew.com/Jomo. And so what you want to do when you're on this page is come up to here where it says join now, click on that yellow button. This really quick sign up page, right? So this should only take you a minute or two. Fill out this form right here on the left-hand side. And over here on the right-hand side, be sure to check off option 2, free member sign up. You do have the option of becoming a Crew co-op member, and I'm not going to get into what that is now, but you literally have 30 days once you sign up in order to lock in the $299 rate for that. Otherwise, it'll be $369. If that's something you're interested in, let me know, and I'd love to get more info about the co-op so you can make a more informed decision. But for now, what you want to do is just become a free member so that we can move through the rest of the process with you. We could take the next steps and start submitting homeowner leads into our system. So all you would need to do is click I read and agree with the policies and procedures after you've filled out this form right here, and then simply go right here to submit your membership, right? And literally it's that simple. As soon as you do that, I'll actually be notified. And as soon as I see that notification, I will reach out to you and let you know. I'll send you a video to learn how to become a GeoStellar, basically how you can create your own GeoStellar account, also another free account that will allow you to submit homeowner leads into the system and to start generating, or to start putting that out there and reach out to our solar guides. They'll be able to help you moving forward. So let me go back to the presentation real quick with you how this process works in a little bit more detail, just so you understand it. Sorry, I was tripping on my words there. So it's a simple 3-step process, right? And this will make things really clear for you. Number one, you reach out to your network, you let them know you've partnered with a team of experts in the solar industry that are helping homeowners in their area save anywhere between $1,000 to $3,000 per year. If they're interested, simply have them send you their latest utility bill and let them know that a GeoStellar solar guide will call them over the next few days. So that process is very simple. You simply reach out to them, let them know that you have an offer for them that will really help them save significant amount every single month or every single year on their utility bill. And then if they're interested, they would then go ahead and send you their utility bill. Then you go into the GeoStellar system, and with the video that I send you once you sign up as a free Crew member, I'll actually I'll actually show you how to go through this process of uploading their address, any notes, and also their utility bill into our system. And then the final step is that a GeoStellar Solar Guide will take it from there. They're going to see that you submitted that info into the system. And over the next couple of days, they're going to reach out to your homeowner. They're going to take a consultative approach and find the highest value solar system for their particular needs. And then from that point, they'll be in communication with you. They'll let you know how the deal is going. And on average, you're going to earn $1,500 per install. So as soon as the contract is signed, you're going to earn half of that commission. And then once the install is completed and the solar has been put up on the roof, you'll earn the other half of the commission. So that's how our process works. So just once again, we're going to show you a quick sample script of reaching out to your homeowners. You can literally create whatever script you want. You can say this however you want, but just some variation of letting them know. We're just going to do a quick quick simulation. Hey, Mary, ring, ring. Hey, Mary. Hey, make some small talk, find out how things are going. Hey, Mary. So I'm working with a team of experts in the solar industry who are helping new homeowners like you save anywhere between $1,000 and $3,000 per year on their electric bills by adding solar panels to their roof. Would you like me to find out how much we could help you save? If they say no, then that's okay. Thanks for your time. Have an awesome day. If they say yes, then you respond with something like, great. Could you email or text me your latest utility bill so I could pass it on to our solar team and they can create a free estimate for you so that you can learn how much you can save per year, right? So some variation of that is what it would look like. And you simply, give them a quick call. It might take 5 to 10 minutes. And then literally once you submit their info into the GeoStellar software, we will take it from there. So you're looking at about 15 minutes of work to potentially earn on average a $1,500 commission, right? So pretty significant earnings for the time that you put in, the time that you invest. And I'm actually going to make it in just a moment even more of a sweeter deal, right? And make it so that you're spending even less time talking on the phone with them. And I'm going to give you a leveraged way to really just reach out to them, and I promise you're gonna be blown away when I share this with you. But the final step is submit interested leads over to GeoStellar's $40 million software, and literally they'll take it from there. Like I said. So here's a quick recap of the process, how it all works. Number one, become a free solar affiliate for our team. Once again, you'd go to that link, jointhecrew.com/JOMO. It's a 1 to 2 minute sign up process. You'll spend 5 to 10 minutes on the phone with your network of homeowners. If they seem interested, ask them to email or text you their latest utility bill. Then submit their address, submit any notes you have, and their utility bill over to our system through GeoStellar. And then literally we're going to follow up with them and make sure that their needs are being served and they get exactly what they're looking for, the best possible value that's on the market for them. And then when all the dust settles, you'll earn $1,500 per solar contract signed. So pretty awesome stuff, huh? So once again, this is the link that you'd go to if you'd like to become a free crew member. You'd go over to jointhecrew.com/JOMO. Once again, it's going to look something like this page right here. Then you simply go over here to where it says join now. And then voila, you fill out this form and click on option 2 here. And then I read and agree with the policies and procedures. And then just like that, you are a crew member. And literally you can do this right now as we're on this webinar. You literally don't have to wait for this. Actually, the sooner you take action, the better, because I'm offering this bonus for those of you who are watching right now and those of you who are watching on the recording. That is only, I can only give 5 people, because my time is pretty valuable, just like I'm sure yours is. I can only invest so much time into helping you reach out to your homeowners. But because you're on this presentation, I'm willing to literally do something amazing for you. I'm willing to co host a custom webinar for your list of homeowners to educate them and identify those who are interested in this offering. Right. So, literally, I'm going to hop on a webinar, and not just hop on a webinar, I'll actually create and help you set up the webinar. All you'd be responsible for is texting or email blasting, or if you want, just give them a call, whatever you want to do to make it as little work on your part, right? I'm all about leverage. I'm all about using tools to our benefit. And simply all you need to do is just let them know we're having a presentation at this time on this date, and we're helping. It's an educational presentation that's going to help them save $1,000 to $3,000 every year for the next 30 years. So this is going to save you lots of time rather than reaching out to them one by one and having those 5 to 10 minute conversations. Instead, you're able to cut that out, and we can literally serve hundreds of people at once. And at the end of the webinar, what we'll have is an application, which will be an application for them to get a free estimate from our team. And that'll be coded directly to you. And what they're going to do is they're going to submit their utility bill right there on the spot. So rather than, once again, having to call them and ask them if they're interested and then getting their utility bill over the phone, instead, what you're able to do is we're able to have this webinar that reaches tens or hundreds of people at once. And then they're able to make that decision of yes or no. And then they're able to upload their utility bill to us, so that we're only speaking to and serving those who are actually interested, right? So it creates almost like a funnel, right? If you can imagine it, right? Let's say you have like, you have like 200 people who attend, right? They attend the webinar, and let's say 50 people end up saying yes. Well, rather than having to individually call those 200 people, you just simply sent them to the webinar, and then the webinar converted 50 people on the webinar into a yes, and then they submit their utility bill. And then literally, I don't know what the numbers are on that. Let's just say out of those 50, 20 turned into a solar install. 20 times 1,500. Let's see I don't know what the math is on that. I'll just pull out my calculator. You're looking at about 30 grand in commissions from simply inviting your prospects, or your list of homeowners that are solar prospects, to a webinar, right? So that's pretty phenomenal. Pretty phenomenal time / return on your investment in time, right? You might spend maybe 10 minutes sending the email or text. You might spend an hour on the webinar. So you'd spend about an hour and 10 minutes in this scenario, earn $30,000, right? So that is literally the bonus that I'm offering for joining Crew today. So don't wait, because literally it's only the next 5 people that sign up that I'm going to be offering this to. So that being said, all you got to do is, if you're ready to get started, go over to jointhecrew.com/Jomo. Once again, jointhecrew.com/Jomo should look like this page right here. Simply click on join now to this sign up page. Go through the sign up process, click on option 2, free member sign up. And I read and agree with the policies and procedures. And from that point, as soon as I see that you've become a member, I will reach out to you with that video that's going to walk you through how to get a GeoStellar account, so you can position yourself for that webinar. And I'll actually, if you're one of the first 5 people, I'll reach out to you to schedule and set up a conversation so that we can create that webinar. And then from that point, we'll go ahead and create the webinar. We'll run the webinar. And then as soon as those leads come through from the webinar, we'll be able to upload them directly to GeoStellar. I'll show you exactly how to do that. And if you aren't one of the first 5, you'll still be able to create that GeoStellar account. You'll still be able to upload those leads to the GeoStellar software. And once again, the GeoStellar Solar Guides will take it from there. With that being said, we got a couple minutes left. I want to try and close it out over the next couple minutes. But if you have any questions, now is the time for Q&A. So all that you need to do is come down here to where it says leave your comments and questions below. Make sure you log in on your Facebook account so that you can enter your comments or questions. But if you don't have any questions, let's see real quick to see if any questions or comments came through. Give me one sec. Looks like it's not fully loading, or at least it's in the process of loading. But yeah, in the meantime, jointhecrew.com/Jomo. Once again, that's the link. Let's see if there's any comments. Okay. Looks like you guys are all good on the comments and questions department. So hopefully you're just filling out this form right now. Jointhecrew.com/Jomo. And come down, fill out this form. Option 2, free member sign up, and then simply let me know that I'll let you know as soon as I see that you are one of the 5 to the next 5 to submit it. I'll reach out to you and let you know that you've locked in your spot for the webinar. So with that being said, I really appreciate you for being here today. I appreciate you for tuning in. I hope that you really enjoyed it. I'm going to bring it in for a landing here. Let's go over here to stop. Okay. So I really appreciate you guys for tuning into this live presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. And I really look forward to working with those of you guys who have jumped on board with Crew, and look forward to really serving your network of homeowners and helping them truly receive these amazing benefits that we really have access to, offering them through Crew and GeoStellar. So thanks so much for your time, and I look forward to speaking with and working with those of you who have joined and jumped on board after this presentation. Thanks so much, my friend. Talk to you soon.